Today I'm going to be reacting to your Raider hot takes. This is where I give you all a platform to voice your thoughts, whether good, bad, or anything in between. So if you want to be featured on the next episode, make sure you're following me on Instagram at Simone Raider, because that's where I'm going to be asking you guys for your Raider hot takes. I posted a post just last night, so those are going to be the hot takes I read today. As always, if this is the very first time you're coming across my channel and you love the Las Vegas Raiders and love Raiders content, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and that notification icon button to notify you guys when I upload more videos just like this. With that being said, let's get started with the takes. Ben Johnson as head coach, John Spytek as GM, Patrick Graham as the defensive coordinator. That's a start of a good offseason. Now, we've talked about this a lot. My last video that I dropped yesterday, we talked about the dream team that everybody's been talking about, Ben Johnson and John Spytek. I know that the consensus #1 option for the Raiders, not only for the Raider fans, but also Tom Brady and Mark Davis, is Ben Johnson. They had a great interview. A lot of things went well, and there's a lot of rumors going around that the Raiders job might be the place Ben Johnson ends up at. But, a lot of crazy things have happened. You guys know my take on Ben Johnson. I do believe that he can be possibly a great coach in the NFL, but that has yet to be seen. I'm just a little afraid of having a first-time head coach, but if Ben Johnson's that guy, hey, I'm all for it. With his offensive mind paired up with the GOAT Tom Brady's offensive mind, I feel like that can do wonders for this team moving forward. As of John Spytek, even though him and Ben Johnson don't really have a relationship there, Spytek does have a huge relationship with Tom Brady. All of those minds together to run this organization, I think, would be a great thing, but that has yet to be seen. As far as Patrick Graham, though, I highly doubt that he'll return to the Raiders, man. As much as we do like him and whatnot, I think the writing was already on the wall. He kind of talked about it, and I know that his mindset is already past the Raiders. He's gotten a lot of interviews with other teams, a lot of other teams interested in him for a head coaching position or even defensive coordinator. So I feel like the Raiders should just move forward with a clean slate, a whole different cast of coaches. Whoever we bring in as the head coach, let him get his guys. With that said, though, I wish nothing but the best for Patrick Graham, but I feel like the Raiders are just going to be going in a whole new direction. Re-sign Spillane and Hobbs, extend Jacoby Myers, draft Ashton Jeanty in the first round, then trade a second and a third for a late first round pick and draft Jackson Dart. Okay, now there's a lot of things that go into this. First, re-signing Spillane and Hobbs. Spillane for sure. And Nate Hobbs. I feel like Nate Hobbs is a solid piece. He's not going to be our #1 cornerback. I feel like the Raiders should address the cornerback, especially whether it's in a draft or going into free agency. But, I wouldn't mind getting Nate Hobbs back on this roster as well. And then extending Jacoby Myers for sure, man. I don't think he's going to be our wide receiver 1, but I definitely think that he's a solid complementary piece to whoever we bring in as that wide receiver 1. Like I said, whether we go into the draft and get somebody like T-Mac or one of these other young receivers, or we go and get T. Higgins in free agency or whoever else is out there, But now, going into the NFL draft, I guess it kind of gets a little bit shaky. You say go out and get Ashton Jeanty with the 6th overall pick. Again, not a pick that I really would want to do, but I wouldn't be mad at. I understand that it is a position of need, but I've said this before, and I'm going to say it again, man. There's a lot of running backs in this class that we could get later on in the draft. Now, going to your next take, trading up into the late first round to get a quarterback. I know we've talked about it before, and Jackson Dart has been a name that a lot of people have been talking about. People have told me, in my recent mock draft video, why not go get Jackson Dart? You know what? I'm not opposed to it. And looking at all the reports and rumors going around, it seems like Jackson Dart's draft value is starting to creep up. And I feel like he is going to sneak into the first round. A lot of people doing mock drafts can get Jackson Dart in the 3rd round, and I highly doubt that's going to happen. With a quarterback class that really isn't that strong, I feel like Jackson Dart is going to make a name for himself, especially with the combine, especially on his pro day, and knowing that a need for a quarterback is going to be really, really valuable for a lot of teams. I expect him to move up. There is a possibility, though, that we could still get him in the late first round and trading a 2nd and a 3rd. We do have 2 third-round picks, so you know what? If we're able to do that and get the quarterback that we need, I'm all for it, as long as the Raiders can go and draft one of the top guys. Raiders should sign KHALIL Mack again if he doesn't retire. Now, I really like this one because I kind of toyed around with it on our podcast at the Ninth Island of messing around and say, hey, the Raiders should go and bring the whole game back together. Amari Cooper, Derek Carr, and KHALIL Mack. Go get Derek Carr, Amari Cooper, and KHALIL Mack in this free agency. What do you think, Joe?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it.
Fuck it.
2016, run it back, Oos.
Yeah, we're doing it. Bringing Gruden back too?
You smoking crack. No way.
Oh, no, we're doing this.
We're doing this. I was fucking around. I'm not really serious about all that. But one name, if I had to choose any of those 3 guys, it definitely would be KHALIL Mack. I know that he kind of put it out there in the ether of him possibly retiring after the playoff game with the Chargers losing. But I still feel like he might want to play a little bit. And if he is out there in free agency, I would love to have the Raiders go out and bring him in. I don't know if that's going to be possible or not, but, having Khalil Mack, bringing him in opposite of Max Crosby, man, John Gruden took that away from us. That could have been possible. We could have easily had that Max Crosby, Khalil Mack, but who knows if that would happen if he did stay. I'm just saying, like, imagining Khalil Mack opposite of Max Crosby, woo! Man, I feel like your defense would be on a whole nother level. Now, I know Khalil Mack is past his prime. He's not the same Khalil Mack that we had in Oakland, but just a veteran, a guy that could still get after the quarterback, a guy that could still cause pressure. And then, we still got a lot of solid pieces on the defensive line. You possibly bring back Malcolm Koonce or even Caleb Von Chase on. We still got Tyree Wilson. We still got, Adam Butler. We still got Max Crosby. We have Christian Wilkins. I feel like our defensive line would be that much better, and that would solidify the edge position for us. So do I believe that the Raiders should sign Khalil Mack? I would easily say yes, man. Bring Mac back to the silver and black, baby. Brady is going to get us back on track to what we used to be. Shit, he better. He better. He's the main reason why the Raiders franchise has been downhill ever since he started his ascension over there with the New England Patriots, man. But I'm not gonna talk about that. I'm hoping that Tom Brady can do that, and seeing the moves that he's making so far, and seeing the type of influence that he has in the league already, even getting Ben Johnson to come over here to interview with the team says a lot of Tom Brady's power and influence around the NFL. So I know that influence and being the greatest ever at the position or even in the NFL doesn't mean that you're going to be a great owner, doesn't mean that you're going to turn a franchise around. Look at Michael Jordan over there with the Charlotte Bobcats and even Hornets, man. They have been a poverty franchise ever since Michael Jordan has taken over. But I wouldn't want to put all that negativity on Tom Brady just yet. We have hope right now. At least we have somebody that knows, the football operations, that knows what it takes to be a good football player and have a winning team around him in the front office. We're not depending on Mark Davis to make those moves. We're not depending on a GM to come in and make those moves. We got hope in Tom Brady to turn things around. And I do believe right now, as we stand, even before getting a GM and a head coach, I do believe that Tom Brady can turn this organization around because he better. He owes us a Super Bowl ring. And if he's able to do that, I'm sure Raider Nation will rejoice. Just because you are a good offensive coordinator doesn't mean you're a leader of men and a good coach. You're absolutely right, man. We've seen it with Josh McDaniels. We've seen it many times before with different coordinators turn head coach. And even though you're right, and I understand that, and I don't think that Ben Johnson is going to be a guy that's like Antonio Pierce or somebody that's like Dan Campbell that could just go in there and have a motivational speech and get everybody riled up and excited. But if there's a guy that knows the X's and O's and could help develop players, especially the quarterback position, and help the offense out, Ben Johnson has been that guy, especially for the Detroit Lions. I would hope that he wouldn't end up like Josh McDaniels, but there's been a lot of good offensive coordinators that turn head coach. Sean McVay. You look at I forgot Kyle Shanahan over there with the 49ers. So who's to say that he's not able to come over here and help the Raiders get back to glory, I mean, it's been quite a while, and we've been having a lot of hope for the past 20-plus years. So I expect nothing less of Ben Johnson if he was to get hired by the Raiders. Ben Johnson with Justin Fields and Brock Bowers. Who says no to this? I don't think anybody says no to this, man. Justin Fields definitely is my number one option at quarterback in free agency if the Raiders want to go out and get a quarterback there. I know that Sam Darnold is going to be entering free agency, and Vikings most likely might bring him back. I know many people might say Sam Darnold is that guy. Two guys on my list is Justin Fields and Russell Wilson. I know a lot of people don't like Russell Wilson, but hey, he's better than anybody that we have on the roster right now. But Justin Fields is still a young quarterback with a lot of upside, and last year, this past season, in the first couple of games, he's shown that he's able to grow. And you pair him up with a Ben Johnson, who's an offensive-minded head coach who can get the best out of your quarterback. Plus, we have a security blanket, one of the best security blankets in the NFL, a young tight end, all-pro tight end, and Brock Bowers. So we've got the weapons here. And then you possibly pair Justin Fields with a solid running game and a solid offensive line. I feel like we'd be solid. That doesn't mean we don't go get a quarterback in the draft. I'm just saying getting a veteran that could take over and letting a young quarterback sit for a while, at least for a year, to develop into the NFL and get the NFL all in their system and whatnot. I feel like Justin Fields would be the best option for the Raiders and free agency along with Ben Johnson. So, yeah, I would definitely want Justin Fields over here. Hot take, the Raiders take the offseason serious and overachieve expectations going into 2025 season. Couldn't bring myself to having a single hot take. Hey, it's all good. It's all good, man. I love the positivity there, and I've had hope a lot. And I do feel like this offseason is going to be different. But then again, I say that every single offseason. But with Tom Brady kind of running things and seeing how the Raiders are kind of moving about the whole hiring process with getting a head coach and a GM, it really makes me more excited this offseason than we had last offseason. I think everything was smoke and mirrors last year. But this year, going into the offseason, I don't think a lot of people are really expecting the Raiders to do anything next year. So I feel like those are the type of years where the Raiders actually come out and start swinging, man. And I do hope that they overachieve on every single expectations that we have going into next year, because I don't think a lot of Raider fans are going to have any high expectations, no matter who we bring in, no matter what. I'm kind of gonna float on this boat and just kind of chill with being overexcited about a lot of things. A lot of that might change after the whole season, but we'll see. I love the positivity, and hey, I feel like 2025 could be a big season for the Raiders and whoever we bring in. And I'm hoping for that. I think we all are hoping for that. I don't think anybody's really rooting for the Raiders to lose other than trying to tank for a quarterback in the draft. But outside of that, hey, let's put it out there, man. It's going to be a big year for the Raiders in 2025. So with all that being said, though, Raider Nation, man, let me know how you guys think about these different takes. Do you guys feel like the Raiders should bring back KHALIL Mack? Do you feel like the Raiders should go and sign Justin Fields? Should we bring in Jackson Dart in the draft? Is Ben Johnson going to be the next head coach and GM? And do you feel like Tom Brady can turn this organization around? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Until the next one, this is your boy, Some More Raider. And your boys, yeah.